you feel like you win this sparring because you did what your coach asked you, you know. And in the fight, of course, it's different.
It was a great fight. At the end of the day, the people in boxing won, and it's a great fight, and we get to see it again. And then after that, hopefully, I get the winner.
Because I have some issues, I want to heal myself and then move forward again. Doesn't matter, trilogy, Benavidez, Canela, or I just, as always, I'm just waiting offer.
Dmitry Bivol has been called out by David Benavidez, who has stated his desire for a confrontation. Additionally, viewers may now see leaked sparring footage of their previous training sessions. Professional boxers usually spar in private settings to practice their skills away from prying eyes, but occasionally smuggled video and conversations have surfaced to give fans an inside look at these behind-the-scenes interactions. One example of this is a sparring fight between David Benavidez and Dmitry Bivol. In this specific session, Benavidez, then 17 years old, engaged Bivol in a fierce sparring match. The specifics of the session are kept confidential. According to various stories, Benavidez impressively defeated the more seasoned Bivol. It's crucial to remember that sparring sessions are meant for experimentation and practice, and the dynamics might be very different from those of professional matches. The boxing community is debating the morality of disclosing sparring sessions as a result of the release of this tape. Despite the arguments that sharing these private training moments can distort a fighter's skills or tactics, because sparring is intended for growth rather than public assessment, fans still find these glimpses into sparring sessions fascinating because they offer exclusive insights into professional boxers' training routines. In response to the released sparring video, Dmitry Bivol shared his thoughts on their previous training sessions with David Benavidez. BBV recognized Benavidez as a fantastic fighter, expressing appreciation for his abilities and drive. He also pointed out that, when considering their sparring sessions, Benz's readiness to push both him and Artur BBV shows his confidence and drive to succeed in his career. Bivol recalls that both fighters had successful moments while practicing various methods under the supervision of their coach.
Respect him as a fighter. He's a really great fighter, and what he's saying that he wants to fight me and Beterbiev, it means that he's a great fighter. He's confident and he wanna achieve more and more. It's good, and what I could tell.
Do you remember the sparring with David?
I remember, we had a couple of sparrings. I remember it was some of good moments from my side.
He underlined that, in accordance with Bivol, sparring is only a training activity in which fighters test out different tactics, rather than aiming for complete supremacy. He clarified that sparring and a real fight are entirely different situations. In a real fight, Bivol explained, a boxer must make quick adjustments and cannot afford to waste time on techniques that are not working, unlike sparring, where fighters focus on specific drills regardless of their effectiveness. A fight demands immediate adaptability, while sparring showcased moments of skill from both sides. Fighters use these sessions to apply instructions from their coaches, sometimes succeeding in one round and struggling in another. Bivol thinks that he and Benavidez would face a whole different obstacle in a professional match.
Some of good moments from my side, some good moments from his side. But it's sparring. Sparring, it's sparring. You do some things which coach told you. You should do this and this. And you are trying one round. You couldn't do it. Another round, you try to do this. It couldn't. On the third round, you can do it once only, and you feel like you win this sparring because you did what your coach asked you, And in the fight, of course, it's different. In the fight, they ask you to do something. You will not waste your time if it's not good.
Following his arduous triumph over URBBV in a post-fight interview, Dmitry Bivol answered a number of questions about his future. Now the undisputed light heavyweight champion, Bivol took some time to consider his accomplishment and stressed the value of celebrating this milestone before deciding on his next course of action. He admitted that he had some health problems to get over before returning to the ring, but he was still open to any challenge, whether it was a trilogy with Beterbiev, a fight against Benavidez, or even a bout against Canelo. When asked directly about Benavidez Bivol, Alvarez stated that he has no preference for his next opponent and is willing to fight whoever the boxing world and his fans want him to. He made it apparent that his goal is to keep pushing himself, whether that means facing Benavidez again, resuming his rivalry with PBV, or even thinking about moving up to cruiserweight.
Benavidez, possibly instead of a trilogy with Arta.
I'm open for any fight, but today I wanna enjoy that I'm undisputed champion. I wanna take care of my health because I have some issues. I wanna heal myself and then move forward again. Doesn't matter, trilogy, Benavidez, Canelo, or as always, I'm just waiting offer, and I'm saying yes.
Additionally, Bivol considered his rematch. Victory over PBV, highlighting the changes he made to win. He demonstrated his capacity to maintain control of the battle by outmaneuvering the strong Beterbiev with his defensive disciplined movement and counterpunch. His exact approach made sure that he steered clear of drawn-out conversations while. Throughout the fight, Bivol executes clean and effective shots while remaining patient and saying he is waiting for offers to come his way. He also made it clear that he is open to all options and will accept the fight that makes the most sense, whether it's a major challenge or a novel trilogy with Beterbiev. Bivol is ready to take on whatever comes next and has solidified his place among boxing's elite.
Dmitry, how do you feel about your next opponent?
I think the December it will be just amazing. Maybe earlier, maybe October. Why not?
You have a preference, David or trilogy?
I don't have any preference now, to be honest. What people wanna see, I gonna take, no problem.
A professional analysis of Benavidez versus Bivol demonstrates why this fight is more important than Bivol versus Canelo, because if Benavidez wins, it will be a turning point in his career, making him the greatest Mexican boxer of this era. Bivol, who is renowned for his technical skill and defensive prowess, poses a more difficult stylistic challenge than Canelo. A victory over him would not only solidify Benavidez's position as the top fighter at 168 pounds, but also solidify his status as a dominant force at 175 pounds. Canelo has already lost a ball, so Benavidez has the opportunity to prove he can overcome the same challenge and surpass Canelo's legacy. This bout is more significant for the boxing world than a rematch between Bivol and Canelo because it decides the future of the super middleweight and light heavyweight divisions.
David Benavidez versus Bivol is a way better fight than David Benavidez versus Canelo, only because if he beats Bivol, it proves that he's better than Canelo, is the best Mexican boxer, and it's the best at 168 and 175.
Teddy Atlas outlines David Benavidez's upcoming prospects and difficulties. A fight between Benavidez and Bivol would not only be about power, but also about ring IQ adaptability and the capacity to impose one's will over 12 rounds. One of the biggest possible opponents is Dmitry Bivol, the WBA light heavyweight champion. Bivol poses a unique challenge and is perhaps tougher than Artur Beterbiev in some ways stylistically. He is a disciplined and precise boxer who can neutralize aggression with his movement and counterpunch.
I think the purer puncher probably is Morel for one shot. He's the less experienced guy, but he's got that Cuban background, with the amateur pedigree, over 100-something fights. He's got experience. Even though he's got a lot less fights professionally, he's got experience. He hasn't fought the resume professionally that Benavidez has, so that's in favor of Benavidez. The experience, always important, but also the pedigree, like I said, where he comes from, Cuba, how, you come from that island that from the beginning when you first put those gloves on, it's all about becoming a world champ.
Canelo Alvarez, the current super middleweight king, is another strong contender for Benavidez. Many people think Benavidez has been the legitimate challenger for years because of his unrelenting pressure and volume punching, which makes him a serious threat to Canelo's reign. Canelo is a skilled counterpuncher who can take advantage of openings, just like David Morrell tried to do against Benavidez, but was unable. Additionally, Canelo has a devastating uppercut that has worked well against fighters that are aggressive. Similar to Benavidez in the past, he is in a situation where he is not required to accept the most difficult. The road ahead is rocky, and at the top level, every fight is a gamble. The course he takes will determine his future in the sport. Both bouts would be huge financially, but if he wants to establish himself as one of the greatest Mexican boxers, a victory over Bivol or Canelo would elevate his legacy.
He says, quote, "I don't want to fight someone who doesn't mean something for my career. And the best out there now is David Morrell."
I see him coming up to 175. He's talking about it. So I'm going to shut his ass up. And also, it would be a bigger pay-per-view if we wait later. His name is not that big, but, I don't...
They just talk the way you want your fighters to talk. They're all about the smoke. They want to fight everybody. It seems like whoever would win the Morrell-Benavidez fight get the shot. But at the end of the day, we got a guy who wants to fight a tough guy.
David Morrell is so good. David Morrell is a high-risk, low-reward fighter. You have to overpay people to step in the ring with him. If you don't overpay him, you won't get him in the ring. It's as simple as that, Jack. So, David Morrell going into 2024, one of the most exciting fighters, got an exciting style, has a fan base in Minnesota. That's the knock on the Cubans. No international distribution on the Cuban feed because they don't show the fights. Has a fan base in Minnesota. Now we need to see the fights. Vladimir Shishkin, Kristen and Billy. Any of those guys on the back end of the top 10, I want to see them in with him.
Emphasizing the fight's importance for Benz's legacy, he feels that by facing Bull Bennett's, he is boldly demonstrating his greatness and willingness to take on the hardest boxing challenges. This fight isn't just about another win. It's about demonstrating that Bennett's can compete and defeat elite-level fighters, securing his place among the sport's best.
And collect a big bag on my head after the fight. Like, it isn't... This is I'm doing with David Morrell. You know what I mean? It's the hardest fight, but I'm not scared of nobody. You know what I mean? I like I said, I embrace the challenges. So for Canelo and his fans saying that I don't bring nothing to the table, I don't do this, I don't do that, man, they're all scared, just like how he's scared. You know what I mean? And if he wants to come prove that I ain't shit, come prove it in front of everybody. It's that easy.
So I feel like it's just a bunch of excuses on his end.
It's just a bunch of excuses, bro. At the end of the day, it's a bunch of excuses and it's a bunch of pride. Because after I beat him,
it's like legacy.
What they don't like is that I'm Mexican, that I'm also Mexican, and I'm here in the United States.
Shiz claims that the adult Benavidez wants to demonstrate that he is more than simply a formidable fighter. He wants to demonstrate that he can defeat a champion like Bivol, who has already vanquished elite fighters like Canelo Alvarez. Benitez Shiz, the adult, views this fight as a chance to silence skeptics and demonstrate that he belongs at the top, competing against and defeating the best in the world. A victory over Bivol would not only elevate his career, but also position him as the next dominant force in boxing. He is not just interested in winning titles. He wants to surpass Canelo's legacy as the best Mexican fighter across multiple divisions.
David Benavidez versus Bivol is almost as exciting for me as Canelo versus David Benavidez. I'm not gonna lie. The reason why I like it is I always liked what Evander Holyfield did when it came to Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson fight Alex Stewart, I'ma fight Alex Stewart. Mike Tyson fight Buster Douglas, I'ma fight Buster Douglas. You can't beat Bivol, I whoop his ass. Not only am I showing that I beat Canelo, but I'm also showing that my legacy is important. I'm greater than Canelo. I just love that attitude.
All indications point to a fight between David Benavidez and Bivol after Bivol secured the victory in his rematch against URBBV. David Benavidez has been outspoken about his belief that Bivol was unfairly judged in his first fight with Baya, saying he felt Ball should have won that fight as well.
One, are you happy with an immediate rematch, or would you have preferred a little bit more time to rest?
No, I'm so appreciate that I have the chance, and I cannot let myself to think that it's not good time
or it's not good this, that. No, I'm happy that I have a chance. Not too much people has a chance and to have rematch, but I have it, and I'm glad.
Now that Bivol has demonstrated his superiority in the rematch, Novowitz has stated that he is prepared to face him in the ring. This fight is very important because Benavidez is advancing through the weight classes with the goal of becoming the best in both the super middleweight and light heavyweight classes. A victory over Ball would solidify his status as one of the best pound-for-pound fighters and elevate his legacy beyond that of Canelo Alvarez, as both fighters are keen to test themselves against the best. As talks get underway, fans are excitedly awaiting what could be a career showdown that might be one of the biggest and most thrilling fights in boxing. Benavidez's turning point in his pursuit of greatness.
If Bivol, if it's the same exact fight, I see Bivol winning, but unless they rob it again, there's really nothing you could do.
What'd you make of Bivol and Beterbiev, who you felt won in that fight?
To be honest with you, I think when it comes more down to boxing, I think Dmitry Bivol won that fight. From probably when it comes to damage, Beterbiev was probably landing the harder blows. But you know what? I feel like Bivol did enough to win the fight.
Benavidez Sr. has stated that David Benavidez is prepared to fight whoever wins the rematch between Dmitry Bivol and Beterbiev, but he has stated that he strongly prefers Bivol as the next opponent. He bases this on the fact that BV has an impressive record, having already defeated elite fighters like Canelo Alvarez. If David defeats Bivol, it would mean that he has surpassed Canelo, further establishing his claim as the best Mexican fighter across multiple weight divisions, according to Benavidez Sr.
You told me he's focusing on the winner of Beterbiev and Bivol. Who would you prefer, since I know Bivol and him have had history?
Both of those fighters are very dangerous fighters. Even Alexander Usyk is a very dangerous fighter. We're getting super focused and training really hard for that fight. But if everything goes as planned and we're successful with that, I would like to face Bivol, because the reason is that he beat Hugo Ramirez. He beat Canelo. So to me, if he beats the one, and then we beat the one, we can beat the one.
Do you think Bivol will beat Beterbiev?
No. I think that I see Beterbiev win by knockout.
Okay.
And I see Bivol winning by decision. If it goes, boxing, and if he gets caught, But I think the only way that Bivol is going to win by decision.
Okay.
But if he stays there, Beterbiev, has all that power to knock him out.
Ben Sr. believes that this is the ideal chance for his son to demonstrate his abilities to the fullest extent possible. Canelo has been the long-discussed opponent for Benavidez, but Bivol poses an even greater challenge because of his undefeated record and dominant performances. Val is known for his technical precision, defensive mastery, and disciplined approach, making him a more difficult challenge than most. A victory over Bivol would not only establish Benavidez as an elite fighter at 175 pounds, but also open the door for massive fights in the future. Benavidez would establish his reputation as a two-division champion and rise to pound-for-pound greatness if he were to defeat Bivol.
A lot of boxers don't do this. This is why Canelo's not fighting Benavidez. Why would Canelo fight Benavidez, who's relatively unknown, and Benavidez beats him, and Benavidez becomes overnight a superstar? That's Canelo's letting Benavidez make a name off of him.
Wait, so you're saying that you're going to make Conor McGregor?
And just one more from me. Beterbiev Bivol, the rematch. What a great fight that is in Saudi. How do you see that playing out, Sal?
It's going to be a really good fight again. Both are great fighters, and
do you see yourself fighting a light heavyweight again?
Do you think I'm blowing?
Maybe.
Let's follow Dr. Canelo, please.
Dmitry Bivol will provide one of the most difficult obstacles in David Benz's career, and many analysts predict that Benavidez may face several significant obstacles in this battle. Firstly, there is uncertainty over whether Benavidez has the capacity to actually harm Bivol. Given that Benavidez is renowned for his Bivol, has previously faced and defeated strong opponents like Canelo Alvarez, thanks to constant pressure and loud punches. His abilities to control distance and his defensive footwork make it very tough for opponents to produce clean, devastating shots.
Spar it's very different than fight. I have a lot of sparrings when I wasn't good, when I was good. I'm not seeing on the sparrings it's like on the fight. I'm checking, I'm just trying to do something, I just have some mission for one sparring and I try to do it. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not. But with Benavidez it was good sparrings. I can't say that something was not good. Now it's Canelo. He has belts. Of course, he's the best in 168. They need to prove it. They need to earn belts. Then we will say. We have rules. You have belts, you are best.
Another issue is that, although Benavidez lives on violence, Bivol is a master of the foundations, and Benavidez is not as polished or technically competent as Ball. His ability to adjust in the ring, along with his disciplined approach and swift counterpunch, gives him a distinct technical advantage. Bennett has used raw might to subdue many of his opponents, but that strategy might not be sufficient against someone as calm and talented as Bivol.
David Benavidez, American, from Arizona, from Phoenix, Arizona. Debut 2013 through 2021. I think he is still fighting. His last fight most likely occurred in 2021. Oh wait, November 13th, he's got an upcoming fight versus Jose Uzcatagu, Colombian. But his last one took TKO, took place March 13, 2021. 24, and we got another undefeated.
David Morrell is going to put up one hell of a fight. I just think David Benavidez is not what people think he is. I see a highly skilled fighter with good fluidity in his punches and his moves. The guy, to me, is one of the best fighters in the world. And I'm talking about skill-wise. Like, he got fast hands. He throws great flurries. He knows how to break you down systematically. His defense is far better than people give him credit. Him against Oleksandr Volcik, I was like, brother, this guy looks great, right? He just needs more time at 175, which I think he got.
David Morrell and David Benavidez are going to fight.
Yeah.
Is that a fight that you're...
Oh, got it, yeah. Well, the story with he and I was, I met him when he was a kid. And he told me, I'm going to be a world champion someday. And then I run into him and he's a world champion. That's happened to me so many times, usually with MMA fighters, not boxers. That's when I was sort of kicking the tires of boxing. Yes, I will watch that fight, if that's the question you're asking.
Bivol also has a big advantage in terms of maturity and coaching experience because he has been competing at a high level for years and has successfully defended his light heavyweight title against elite competition. His trainer's knowledge and experience in championship fights give him a strategic edge. Despite his talent, Benavidez has not yet faced a fighter of Ball's caliber. To win, he must find a way to get past Ball's defense, set his own pace, and stop Bivol from controlling the fight. However, given Ball's superior technical skills, experience, and discipline, this will be a big test for Benavidez, as many people think that unless he can drastically change his strategy, Ball's skill set will be too great for him to overcome.
I know I say that every fight, but it's just I'm getting better and better. I'm more experienced. Now I'm physically, emotionally, spiritually, I'm at one with myself, and I'm just ready. I'm ready. These are the type of challenges I want. I don't shy away from no fight. If no fight or no fighter, you know what I mean? And that's definitely what I'm going to show February 1st.
Do you think you break them down later in the rounds? Do you catch them early and break them down early like we saw with Andrade?
To be honest with you, I'm going to just put a game plan together and I'm going to just follow my game plan. I don't know if it's going to come early. I don't know if it's going to come late. But I will be trying to knock them out. That's what I do every single fight. I go in there and I just break people down and I beat the shit out of them. It's going to be the same thing.
Given the last performance, I know you said at the post-fight you were injured, you're dealing with a lot of things. What do you make of the perception of David at 175 from fans now? And do you think it's fair?
To be honest with you, I don't care what nobody says. I know exactly what I do. I know that 7 weeks left to the fight, I tore a tendon. 8 weeks left to the fight, tore a tendon. I got closer to 4 weeks, only using one hand.
That concludes today's video. Watch this space until the next one.